So students, we are going to start chapter 1 Constitution, and it will be the part 5 of this chapter. Again, I'm intimating to you that this is quite lengthy, so it can take long, so need not to be worried, because chapter rights has been merged with that of this chapter only. So previously we were talking on composition of the Constituent Assembly. We come back on the topic composition of Constituent Assembly. In short, I'm writing this, okay? Constituent Assembly. In this, we have discussed the enforcement of the Constitution, how long did it take, what were the plans and all these. But some, perhaps 2 points were left here. This is, we were talking that members of all religions were given the representation in the Constituent Assembly. This was the main feature of a Constituent Assembly, that the members who represented, they belonged to all the religions. So we can mention here people from all religions or all religions represented the people. Okay. Secondly, just to give the representation to the minorities even. Okay. Assembly had 28 scheduled caste members also. 82% of the seats were occupied by Congress itself. Minorities were also given the due representation. Okay. In short, I'll write here only minorities. Minorities, in short, I'll write. And secondly, assembly had at least 28 scheduled caste members also. In short, I'm writing this as Cs. All of you could get it. And besides this, 82% of the seats of the seats were occupied by Congress itself. Was this fine? Was this fine, students? That 82% of the seats were occupied by Congress itself. It means the rest of the parties had the representation only on the 18% of the seats. So was this fine as per you? Yes.
Ma'am, Congress party was itself very diverse.
Very good. Very good, child. Because here we can't say that any favoritism was made for Congress. This was not there. At that time, Congress was the largest party, and many leaders who belonged to the national movement, they were the part of the Congress itself. And secondly, at that time, Congress was known as the social and ideological coalition. This was the combination. It had the representation, it had the members in itself from every section of society, every section, every religion, every community, every language. They had the members. So 82% of the seats were occupied by Congress itself. It means the representation was very diverse. Only on the behalf of this, we cannot say that the other parties had the opportunity to represent themselves only 18%. It was not there, because Congress party was in itself very diverse, and it was called as the social and ideological coalition inside the party, because it had the members from every section of the society, from every community, language, religion itself. Got it? So efforts were made to create a representative body to the Constituent Assembly. So in short, we can write here a very short note. We can write a note. Due to all these, we could say that efforts to create a representative body. These are the languages of the question sometimes. That's why I give you always. I make the efforts to discuss all these. To create a representative body in true sense. Sometimes question comes in the form of a statement, and all of you are asked to evaluate, to examine, to justify. Okay, suppose statement has been given that the efforts were made to create a representative body in the true sense to the Constituent Assembly. Justify the statement, evaluate, examine the statement. So you can write all these points. Got it? Now we come on the next topic. This is the principle of deliberation. Is this clear to each and everyone now? Now should we start the next topic? So next topic is,
Yes, ma'am.
okay beta. Next topic is, please respond at least. You can unmute yourself at that time. The principle of deliberation. Now here, first of all, the question arises, what do we mean by deliberation? What is the deliberation? Anyone can tell?
Ma'am, deliberation means debate
Deliberation
on
means,
any particular debate.
yes, anyone else? Deliberation means we could say a kind of interaction, the procedures. Yes, beta. Yes.
Long and careful consideration or discussions.
Very good. Very good. We can say. Okay. So in short, in a very simple language, we could say the procedures. In a very simple language, we could we can call it the procedures, but procedures with the values attached to it. Procedures with values attached to it. We'll discuss all these, then you will get it attached to it. Then we'll start the explanation. Okay, so this is known as the deliberation. Deliberation means we can say the procedures with the values attached to it. It means on what values the Constituent Assembly was supposed to work on it. Okay. So all these are known as the deliberation. So first of all, the Constituent Assembly worked on the principle of deliberation, and secondly, it worked on the principle of representation. Representative, we could say. Representative. Representative means participation. Here if we are speaking of the representation, so representation means it's not only to give an opportunity to the members from every section of the society. We don't mean it here. Under the principle of deliberation, first of all, this is the procedure with values attached to it. And again, I repeated representative. So all of you will be thinking, madam is repeating representative again and again. But here the meaning is different. In the sense of, if we are talking on the principle of deliberation, so representative means number one, participation of all diverse groups, and it was clubbed with plus deliberate over the interest of whole country. In short, I'm writing this only of country. All of you could get it. This is that then Constituent Assembly would be representative. Representation doesn't mean that we have given the opportunity to every section of the society, to every language, to every religion. It doesn't mean that the Constituent Assembly has become the representative. Representative means that participation of all the diverse groups of the society of the country, and plus deliberate means the procedures with the values. All these diverse group will participate, will deliberate over the interest of the country. They will keep the interest of the particular society, particular language, particular community, particular religion to uh, to the side. First of all, first the prime concern would be the interest of the country only. Getting my point? Is everyone getting my point? All of you have to write down the answers sometimes. How can you say that the Constituent Assembly was representative? How can you prove? Okay. So you could prove over here that it had the participation of all the diverse group, and all these diverse group deliberated over the interest of the country. They kept the interest of their own specific community, language, religion, caste. All these were kept aside by them. We'll just discuss some examples now here. Okay. We'll just discuss all these. We are coming to the point. There I'll explain, because I'll have to explain it again otherwise. So next we could see that all these, the members of the Constituent Assembly, they had the differences of opinion among themselves. Here we could see differences of opinion had been there among the members of the Constituent Assembly. Differences of opinion. Okay. Now, all of you will be thinking, if the differences of opinion had been there, then how did they work out? How was the constitution made? This is the question. Now, here, understand one thing. Number one, suppose uh, in this we can take the example. Suppose if you are asked, all of us are the member of the Constituent Assembly, and all of us are asked that we have to declare something for the country. So someone suggested, suppose Neil suggested that the cricket or football, we could say football must be the national game of the country. Football must be declared as the national game of the country. So okay, Neil has participated in the discussion. Okay, but this is not this is not only enough to declare football as a national game of the country. Neil have to prove why he is saying that football must be the national game of the country. Why not? Why not? What's the national game of our country? Yes,
Hockey.
hockey. Very good. Well done. Why not hockey? है ना? Because who spoke? Who spoke? Who gave answer? Yes.
Ma'am, Yashaswika.
Yashasvika, very good. You are participating today. Well done, beta. Okay.
Thank you.
So Yashasvika, Neil will have to convince to Yashasvika and to all the members of the Constituent Assembly. Why not hockey? Because Yashasvika and all the members want that hockey must be declared as the national game. And Neil arguing for the football, that football must be declared the national game of the country, not hockey. So Neil will have to give the proper argument. Neil will have to debate, will have to discuss with the members of the Constituent Assembly, and then any procedure, then any process will be applied, then any clause will be added into the Constituent Assembly. Like this, the members of the Constituent Assembly had the differences of opinion, but we have already mentioned again and again that the Constituent Assembly was representative in nature. So if they had the differences of opinion, no issues, but they did not fight over all these things. They were supposed to give the strong proof in favor of this. Got it? And they were matured enough. So all the issues, all the clauses were debated, discussed. Okay, here we could see only one exception. Anyone can tell what was the exception on which we need not any debate, any discussion, and it was adopted by the Constitution of India. It was adopted by the
Ma'am,
Constituent Assembly.
universal adult franchise.
Very good. Universal. Very good, beta. Okay.
Universal.
So this is your one marker. Here in short, I am writing except. I'll write it in capital letters, so that's why. Except universal. But remember, this is the one marker. At that time, students asked, Madam, where this is? Except universal adult franchisee or universal adult suffrage. Okay. So this is known as, this was the only exception at that we did not need any debate, any discussion in the Constituent Assembly, and it was accepted universally. And it so hence consequently it was adopted by a Constituent Assembly also. And here one thing more, one important word you have to keep remember. This is public reason. What was this? Public reason. Yes.
Ma'am, it means that we do
Yes.
not simply, imply our opinion. We have to give strong reasons to others to go with our procedures or our provisions.
Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else, please? What is the public reason? Public reason means, in short or in a very simple language,
Ma'am,
we can call this reasoned argument. Argument with the reasoning, we could say. है ना? Argument with proper reasoning. We can say this with proper reasoning. Everyone do some reasoning or not? All of you know what's reasoning? Reasoning is the part of competitions today. Yes? Yes or no?
yes.
है ना? So, like this, proper reasoning was given place in the Constituent Assembly. Every member on every issue, the arguments were made, the debates, the discussions took place, but the intention behind it was the public reason. Suppose we can take some examples here. Suppose Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had been there. He just argued in favor of the separate electorates. All of you remember? All of you might have discussed the Pune Pact in
Yes.
standard 10th. Did you study?
Separate.
They had the differences of opinion with that of Gandhiji on Pune Pact. You know, they had the differences. They were demanding the separate electorate. Got it? But later on, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had to leave this idea. He had to drop this idea because he had come to know that this is not in the interest of the country as a whole. Got it? So this was the intention. Yes. No one. Yes. Any problem? Should I mute everyone? Should I mute? I'll have to mute everyone. Students, all of you must keep remember it yourself. Convey in the family, convey at home that my class is going on. So please, or you can mute yourself. Okay. So now public reason was also played an important role. If any member had to commit, if any member debated that the separate electorates must be there for the different communities, but later on, after debating, after discussion, the person realized that this is not in the public interest, this is not in the interest of the country. So the person was ready to give it up. They were not adamant towards all these things. So every member of the Constituent Assembly, they worked for the public reason mainly. Okay? So most important, this was the representative along with, and this was clubbed with that of the public reason. Every member of the Constituent Assembly who added on any who wanted to add on any clause, any considerations, they were supposed to give the public reason for the same. They were supposed to argue with that of the proper reasoning. That's why we are asking this. Suppose we can take one other example also. Suppose if any of the member proposed the idea of decentralization, that the decentralization must be there. So that member, that particular person was supposed to give the public reason for this, that he is not talking for the self interest only, and the person is not talking for one's own state only. He is talking of the public reason, that it would be in favor of all. It would benefit to all the states of the country. So all these are known as the public reason. Okay, so public reason means the arguments with the proper reasoning. So here we can write public reason. You may be asked one question on this. So we'll just write, what can you write in this public reason? Number one, you can write not to advance, not to advance one's own interest, one's own interest only, but to provide or but to work on. In short, I'm writing this deliberation. You will write here principle of deliberation. Deliberation and representation. Point B, we could say to scrutinize, all the clauses of Constitution. In short, I'm writing this. Point C, to debate and discuss. Many examples we have gone through this, so you can mention any one or two here. Got it? So this was the principle of deliberation. I hope all of you have get it. So next we must start procedures. Next topic is procedures. I'm going to clear this. Any confusion, any problem to anyone? I'm going to clear this now. So next topic is procedures. What were the procedures of the Constituent Assembly? And again, we could see the importance of public reason was emphasized in the procedures of the assembly as well. So for this purpose, for the public, just to fulfill the intention of public reason, to as a procedure, the Constituent Assembly first of all, eight eight major committees. Yes, 8 major committees on different subjects, on different subjects were framed. just to fulfill the procedures to frame the constitution, 8 major committees were framed, and the leaders, the heads were appointed for these 8 major committees. Out of them were Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. These leaders chaired chaired the different committees. Okay. Who were the members? Rajendra Prasad,
Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar.
yes. J.L. Nehru, in short I am writing J.L. Nehru. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, in short I am writing only Patel. All of you could get it. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So all these were the leaders who headed the different committees. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar headed the which committee? Drafting.
Drafting committee.
Drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now here you could see one thing. Whosoever the members are there, you could see that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had the differences of opinion. Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru and Patel had the differences of opinion among themselves. Are you getting the point? Why we are talking of this? What was the procedure? In fact, if any committee, any one committee, suppose Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared the draft of the constitution. So this was not only sufficient for the Constituent Assembly. First of all, it was debated and discussed inside the committee headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And after the debates and discussions inside that particular committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, it was presented. The committee under the headship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had to present the procedures, had to present the provisions, all the clauses before the another committee. Because suppose another committee was headed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had to present the draft of the constitution before the committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. And then later on as a whole in the Constituent Assembly, and again it was debated and discussed. So you could see the framing of the constitution was not a very casual process. Every clause was discussed by the members of the different committees. As suppose if Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had been the chairperson of the drafting committee, it didn't mean that the draft is final now because it has been prepared by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Not at all. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had to present all the provisions of his committee before the other committee, then and later on as a whole in before the Constituent Assembly. Then again debates and discussions took place over there. And intention was only the public reason for each and everyone. Got the point? I hope all of you are getting the point. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Got this? Now suppose here we could see Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had the differences of opinions with Gandhi. Okay. And Patel and Nehru had the differences of opinion on the various issues, but still they reached on the consensus. And but behind every provision, behind every committee, they had the intention of public reason plus consensus. They did not believe in the voting. We have already discussed this point earlier also. Consensus. Constituent Assembly worked on consensus, not on the voting only. Okay. They tried to convince, because suppose if Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had added on any provision in the draft of the constitution, so Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was supposed to give proper public reason. Number one, he had to create the consensus also on that. Consensus means he was supposed to convince the members of the Constituent Assembly also why this is in the for the public reason, why this is in the public interest, and why each and every one will accept to this. The substantive provisions we discussed, you remember now? Substantive provisions. Yeah, substantive arrangements in the Constitution of India.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember? Okay. So like this was the
Yes,
procedure
ma'am.
of Constituent Assembly. So assembly here, all of us could see all these were the provisions, and are the members of the Constituent Assembly met for how many days?
Ma'am, 66 days.
166 days.
Days.
And it took how long did it take?
2
2 years. Yes, 2
2
years.
years,
11 months, 18
18
days.
Are these enough?
11 months
166
and
days?
18 days.
Yes. So are these sufficient? 166 days took 2 years,
Yes, ma'am.
11 months and 18 days. How can you say within a year how many days are there?
days.
Yes,
365.
365, but still we are saying that they met for 166 days and it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. So how can you say this?
Ma'am, 2 years, 2
Yes.
years, 11 months, 18 days is the duration. Assembly met. Meetings were 166 things took place.
See, if whenever all of you go to school, okay, give me very simple example. Suppose whenever you go to school, is this always possible that you go for all the 30 days in a month? You go whenever the schools are open, whenever the working days are there in the school. Yes or no? Say something. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Whenever
ma'am.
the working days are there, so just like this, the members of the Constituent Assembly met for 166 working days, and it spread over. It took over 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Got it, everyone? Got the point? Clear? Yes. Say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. And first sessions were opened to the press. Whatsoever the first sessions had been there, all these were open to the press and the public alike. Getting the point? So this was the procedures of the Constituent Assembly. Now next we are going to discuss the inheritance of the nationalist movement. I'll try my level best that today I'll upload some more videos so that you can go through this, so that we could complete the chapter earliest possible. So here now only 2 topics are left: inheritance of the nationalist movement